There are 10 days remaining until HHN 32 opening night. And much like other years, this HHN is no stranger to bringing in IPs from various TV shows and games and movies. So you have some HHN homework to catch up on. So that's what I'm going to inform you on today. And yes, this does count for 100% of your grade. So let's talk about it. Welcome to the Horror Fiends. I'm your certified horror dad, Kyle Beatty, and welcome to the final countdown for HHN 32. We have 10 days remaining. It's the final countdown! And it's time to start getting prepared. So start running on that treadmill with a blinky cup in your hand to symbolize walking throughout the park. Stay up until your eyes are burning so you can get to that 2 a.m. closing time, or whatever you might do to prepare. But one thing I always do every year to prepare is watch whatever IPs they have at the event. So grab your coziest blanket, your favorite binge watching food, and your TV remote and plop it all down on the couch right now because we're gonna dive straight into this. So let's talk about the obvious huge elephant inside of the room, and that is Stranger Things 4. Stranger Things is arguably the biggest IP to come to this year's event, and I'm sure you already are caught up on it if you're going to this year's event, but if you haven't, make sure you watch Stranger Things Season 4 specifically, because that is what this house's events are going to completely cover. And you're going to find that on its home turf of Netflix. Now, if you have watched Stranger Things all the way up to Season 3 and you haven't watched Season 4 is quite a different vibe. It dives more into horror, more darker tones, so be prepared before you watch that. Now, diving straight into another TV show that you should probably watch before you go to this year's event is the Chucky TV series. Why the Chucky TV series? Well, because this house basically follows that. Not completely to a T, but you should still be informed on Chucky, who he is, and the TV show is a great way of showcasing that for a new generation. You will find the Chucky show streaming on Peacock, and fun fact, if you did purchase a HHN ticket, you get 6 months free of Peacock, so you can watch both seasons of that. And also, if you want to dive deeper into the knowing of what Chucky is, you can watch all 7 Child's Play films. Now again, arguably another big IP coming to this year's event is going to be The Last of Us. Now, I recommend watching a 10-hour playthrough of the game or playing the original game yourself, since this house is based more on the video game rather than the TV show. But if you just want to watch the TV show with Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, you can do that as well on Max. Previously HBO Max, but now just Max. You can watch that. Some things might feel a little different inside the house if you only are knowing of the TV show, so just be aware of that if you choose that media over the actual physical video game. And if you are going to watch The Last of Us, if you have no idea what The Last of Us is, I recommend bringing tissues to your watch party, because oh man, that story is probably the best in all of video game history. I'm gonna go on record and say that. It's true. Now we're going to get to one that's kind of confusing, and that is going to be The Exorcist Believer. Now, how are you going to watch this movie? Because the movie doesn't come out until the middle of HHN on October 13th. So really all we got is the trailer to watch right now, so I recommend if you haven't watched the trailer to The Exorcist Believer, going and watching that, but also go and watch the original The Exorcist film with just Reagan and all of that, because it still has the same vibe. They're basically the same movie, one's just more updated. And obviously, the original is probably better anyway, so just go watch the original one and pretend the house is that. And now we're going to get into our Universal Monsters Unmasked house. Now, obviously, this is an original concept based on an IP, you know, Universal's IP, but it's its own story. So there's not really exactly a movie you can watch about the events of Unmasked, but you can watch the movies for the characters in Unmasked, which is the Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, the Phantom of the Opera, and the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Those I don't believe are streaming anywhere. I might be wrong on that, but I believe you can rent them on YouTube. They are good watches. I mean, they are very old films, but they have a sense of nostalgia for me. That's why I love the Universal Monsters, so I recommend giving them a watch. That way you know who these characters are when you're stepping into it, because this isn't Dracula. This isn't Frankenstein. This isn't even the Bride of Frankenstein. This is all new characters. Well, new for HHN. Characters that haven't really been used in the house before. Now, as far as IPs go, there you go. You're covered. Watch all that in a single night if you have the time. You can do it. I believe in you. Watch all of those and you'll be set for the IPs. Now, the originals are a little bit different because obviously the originals are created by Universal themselves. Original ideas coming from the creatives on the creative team. Now, there's no movies you can watch for those, but luckily this year we do have that Discover Universal podcast that has gone in depth on everything you need to know about the originals this year and about our icon, Dr. Oddfellow. I recommend, if you're into podcasts, if you listen to true crime podcasts, whatever you watch, if you listen to Distractible by Markiplier, go and listen to the Discover Universal podcast, because it's actually very interesting and it gives you a lot of information so you'll be better prepared and know what's going on inside of the original houses and everything to do with Dr. Oddfellow. Now, I didn't think I'd ever tell you to watch this for HHN, but it was announced as of today that the Death Eaters are going to be roaming around in Diagon Alley. Obviously, we speculated this for a long time at this point. So I'm going to recommend you to watch Harry Potter. I don't know where it's streaming. I'm not a big Harry Potter guy, but I recommend go watch Harry Potter if you have no idea who the Death Eaters are. I have a base knowledge because I read the books back in like 4th grade. I have a base knowledge of who these guys are. But they're going to be at HHN this year in Diagon Alley. If you want to go and experience that, I recommend watching Harry Potter so you know what it is. And the last movie I recommend for you to watch is going to be Megan.
Megan! 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 Megan!
Now, we don't know if the Megan horde that is speculated is actually going to be coming to Springfield inside of the park this year. But we can always hope, and we have the Peacock Bar, so I feel like Megan's going to show up somewhere. And I would go and watch that one as well. That way you're prepared. Megan's a great movie to me. I didn't get great reviews by everybody, but for me, I love Megan. I believe it is streaming on Peacock for you guys. Go and watch that. If not, hey, it's another movie that you added to your Halloween watch list. And honorable mention before I go here today is going to be watching the SNL David S. Pumpkin skit. Now, what am I talking about? Well, it has been rumored that David S. Pumpkins from the SNL skit is going to be in the Peacock Bar this year at HHN. Now, yes, it's a little weird, but it's actually a very funny skit with Tom Hanks. It's actually really funny. Go and watch it. We've had actually David S. Pumpkins at the event before with Bill and Ted, so it's not far off for him to come to the Peacock Bar and you can go meet him. I hope his skeletons are there, but besides that, I would go and watch the SNL skit, so you're updated, I guess, on his lore. But besides that, that is your HHN homework I'm assigning to you, and Apple won't cut it. There's no extra credit. You're not getting out of this assignment. It is mandatory. Go and watch that so you're better prepared for HHN 32 this year. So if you're excited for HHN, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification down below so you're always notified whenever we post on here. Also, if you want to become a member of the channel to join the Haunted Homies, you can do that as well to receive exclusive content from the Horror Fiends, including live stream after parties, an exclusive Discord channel, and early access to the videos you see here on YouTube. But besides that, I will see you in the fog, and I will see you in the morgue.